Well, here's one thing you can do. We all daydream, okay? So how about this? You daydream now for, let's say, 30 seconds. You can shut your eyes like this. Or you can look away into the distance and just let the daydream go. Just let it, whatever happens, whatever comes into your mind. I'm thinking buses. I'm thinking missing a bus. Oh, I'm thinking of the train last night where the train came to a standstill. I'm thinking of the train. What am I thinking of now? Back on the upstairs of a bus now, I am. And in the olden days, they used to have bus conductors used to come around going, fares please, fares please. Right, so that's what I was daydreaming. Now, you finish your daydream, and then you take a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, or you can do it with a computer, and you just write down anything or everything that came into your head in your daydream. So what did I have? I got buses, and then I said, I'm now thinking of trains. Train got stopped, the train stopped, and then I'm back upstairs on top of the bus, and there's a man going, fares please. Now, I can write all that down. Now I can pull out some things. I'll pull out fares please, fares please. I can make that a chorus. Fares please, buses, buses in the street. Yeah, you can play with it, you see, buses in the street. Forget the train's got nothing to do with buses in the street. Fares please, Now let's think about these buses. Where are they going? Let's think of some, I like having places in poems. So say, buses to Hampstead Heath, buses to Wimbledon Common. Fares please. Do you see, I'm building up a rhythm, and it just started with buses. Red buses, blue buses, buses with gold writing on them. Fares please. I'm building it up, yeah? Buses in winter, freezing cold, buses in summer, baking hot. It's quite a nice rhythm to it, isn't it? Just made that up. Yeah. Fares please. So that just comes from a little daydream about buses. So I call that harvesting your daydream. So that's one idea. How about another one? What about thinking that anything could speak to you? So in this room at the moment, you can't see it, but there's a light over there. So I could be the light. I am the light. Right? Now I've got a good first line. I am the light. Now I can ask of the light, what can you see? What can you hear? But I could ask some funny questions like, hey light, what are you afraid of? Hey light, what do you dream of? Hey light, what are you jealous of? Hey light, what do you hate? Hey light, what do you wish for? You see, I got those questions. And now the light can answer me. I am a light. I'm afraid of water in case it bursts my bulb. I am jealous of the sun. It's hotter and brighter than me. What do you dream about, light? Maybe I have a chorus. I am the light. I am the light. What do I dream of? You see where I'm going with this? So you're building up something just by thinking about what the light would think. Now, this is like making a riddle, yeah? So when you make a riddle, quite often riddles have in them something called a paradox. A paradox would be where you'd say, I have legs, but I can't walk. In other words, something looks like it can do something, but it can't. Or if you're a clock, I have a face, but I can't smile. So quite nicely in some of these riddles, you can put in a paradox. And then you could say, I am light, but I'm very heavy. Do you get it? See what I've done there? Look, play on light. So that's another way to write poems, write them from the point of view of something. And I'll give you another idea. Okay, some people think poems should be full of emotion. I'm sad, I'm terrible, I'm really happy, I'm really angry. And that's fine. They're great poems. They're good ones to take that, write a poem. I am angry, see? And you can write those. But another way to write poems is where you're not allowed to use any words that say what you feel like. You can't say you're sad, you can't say you're angry, you can't say you're jealous, you can't say any of those words. So you've got to convey the feeling convey the feeling without using an emotion word. So let's say I'm going to write a sad poem. Now, a long time ago, there were great Chinese poets, and they liked writing poems about how they felt sad that time was passing. So they could write a tiny little poem like this. The leaves fall from the tree onto the water of the river, and the river flows out to the sea. That's all it is. Little poems like that they wrote. So we used to sometimes put them with pictures. And that's like a feeling of sadness about time passing. But it doesn't say that, you see. So what you can do is have like a competition. You write an emotion poem, but you don't say what the emotion is. And then you get other people to guess what the emotion is. So you could write an angry poem, but you mustn't use the word angry. Okay? So what would that be? What would be in that? And maybe it's fire. Or that would be quite angry, couldn't it? Because you could talk about it burning and things. And what about if it was an emotion like annoying? What would be annoying? Maybe things like, maybe a poem about stinging nettles. Do you see? But you mustn't say the emotion. So you pick your emotion. You can look up all the emotions and then think up ways to write a poem about emotions, just looking at something you can see or something going on, and then you let the emotion come out of it. So there's another idea. And then my final idea, this is the easiest of all, which is you read a poem and you say to yourself, I could write a poem like that. And you can either take that to mean, I could write a poem that looks like it, sounds like it, or anything that came into my head when I was reading it. So I did a little poem. It begins like this. Hand on the bridge, feel the rhythm of the train. Hand on the window, feel the rhythm of the rain. Hand on your throat, feel the rhythm of your talk. Hand on your leg, feel the rhythm of your walk. Hand in the sea, feel the rhythm of the tide. Hand on your heart, feel the rhythm inside. Hand on the rhythm, feel the rhythm of the rhyme. Hand on your life, feel the rhythm of time. So you could take that and say, I could write a poem like that. And what you would be doing is you could maybe say, feet on the floor, feel the rhythm of what would you do? The dance. Yeah? And then you could go on from there. Feet on the ground, feel the rhythm of France. Because you're in France, you see? And so you could build it up like that. Or that's where it would be. It would look and sound like my poem, but maybe you thought that bit where I said, hand in the sea, feel the rhythm of the tide, you think, oh, that reminds me of going to the seaside. So what you could do is then you could just copy the idea, use that idea of going to the seaside, and you could write a poem about going to the seaside. So there we are, there's some ideas for how to write poems. Solomon the cat. I was 7. There was a competition in the paper. It was write a story, and the best story would be printed. I thought I'd go for it. So I'm sitting there with my paper, and I'm thinking of this book I read at school about Solomon the cat, who gets thrown out and goes from house to house, asking for somewhere to be put up. So I think, I could write a story like that. I called it Solomon the cat. And I wrote how Solomon gets thrown out and goes from house to house, asking for somewhere to be put up. I sent it in, and I won the competition, and it was printed in the paper. Solomon the Cat, by Michael Rosen, aged 7 3/4. My mum and dad were very pleased with me. It got printed in the paper's Christmas annual too. Solomon the Cat, by Michael Rosen, aged 7 3/4. Sometime later, we got a letter from the paper saying they had heard from someone who said they had bought a children's picture book about a cat called Solomon who gets thrown out and goes from house to house asking for somewhere to be put up. See this, Con? My dad says to my mum. See this? Someone stolen Mick's story and made a book out of it. Would you believe it, the things people do? If I had the time, I'd try and get hold of that book and sue the pants off them. No. I said, I shouldn't bother. It was ages ago. Not long ago, I got a letter from a girl in America. She said she had won a state poetry competition judged by the poet John Chardy. She had won with a poem that went, "Down behind the dustbin, I met a dog called Jim. He didn't know me, and I didn't know him. You wrote that poem, Mr. Rosen," she said, "and now they want to print it in the paper. What shall I do?" I sent her a letter back and said, "Don't worry. I know someone who once wrote a story called Solomon the Cat, who gets thrown out and goes from house to house. You can probably guess the rest." Down behind the dustbin, I met a dog called Felicity. "It's a bit dark here," she said. "They've cut off the electricity." Down behind the dustbin. Down behind the dustbin, I met a dog called Wayne. He was throwing stuff and generally being a pain. Down behind the dustbin, I met that dog called Wayne. I said, "Oh no, not you again." Plastic bag tree. The bags are ripe on the plastic bag tree. Bags as far as the eye can see. Apples and pears, peaches and plums, the fruit is ripe, it's fantastic. Lemon and lime, bunches of grapes, and old bags made of plastic. Shake the branches, gather the crop. It's time to take them down to the shop. Fresh plastic bags on sale today. There's a choice of colour, black or grey. Apples and pears, peaches and plums, the fruit is ripe. It's fantastic. Lemon and lime, bunches of grapes, and old bags made of plastic. There's plenty on the shelf, no need to panic. And next year's bags might be organic. The bags are ripe on the plastic bag tree. Bags as far as the eye can see. Bags of bags for you and me. Now, it would be great if you subscribed. That is, you become a subscriber. Look out for the subscribe button. What happens, you see, is that I make new vids every few months, and then I post them up one a week. So if you subscribe, you get to see the new ones just as they come hot off the press. Eeeew.